everyone! Today I want to talk about rejection and how we can see it as a positive experience rather than one that can be really damaging to our self-esteem. Now, we can experience rejection in all kinds of ways, but I really just want to focus in this video on rejection in dating and how we can deal with that. So I want you to think about the time from when you were born up until now and that journey of your life and all the things that have contributed to making you the person that you are today. So that's first of all going to be the people that you've had in your life, family, friends, throughout primary school, secondary school, uni, wherever you have got up to today. And you will have been influenced by your family values, the culture that you are living in, whether that's faith-based, whether it's a microculture of, let's say, you're a performer and the people that surround you in your performing arts circle, all those kind of things. There's so many factors that influence who we are and how we judge the world and form opinions of the world based on what we're used to and what we've experienced. So all the details in your life have formed the wonderful, unique you, the person that you are today, that has been kind of moulded and developed by all your experiences, the people in your life and the culture around you. So this means that our opinions and judgments of the world are all subjective. They're not truth. They're not going to be the same as somebody else's because they've had a different life. They've had different experiences that have moulded them in a different way. So our opinions of others are more likely to be based on what's familiar to us already and what kind of characteristics in people we've already experienced and learnt that we like or we don't like as a result of the experiences that we've had with those people with those characteristics. So just as an example, say if you've got a certain family member with a particular personality trait. Let's say, for instance, your father wears his heart on his sleeve and is really open about how he feels, okay? Then you go on a date with a guy or a girl and they are the same. They wear their heart on their sleeve, really open about how they feel. You're more likely to appreciate that about somebody, or at least just, you're not going to be like, oh my God, I don't like this about them, probably. But somebody else that hasn't experienced that may not like that about this person. They might be like, oh, they're too full on for me. I'm just getting a bit creeped out by all the feelings. You just don't know. And that's okay. We all have different ways and different things that we like in a person and based on what's already been familiar to us. But somebody else who hasn't experienced that as the norm or that isn't familiar to them might not see that person in the same way. They might just not be, their taste. They might think, oh my God, they're talking about feelings, or this person's really full on, or whatever. So the same person, the same personality traits are not going to be liked by everyone, and that is absolutely okay. So when someone isn't attracted to you in the same way that you are to them, try not to take it personally. This is just their subjective experience of you, and it's not something that should damage your self-esteem or that you should take as truth. Okay, so first of all, ask yourself, did this person actually match up to what I want in a person anyway? Because sometimes it can be really damaging to our ego if they don't like us or we've felt rejected or whatever. But actually, this person wasn't anything to write home about anyway, or just didn't match up to what you need in somebody. So my advice, first of all, is to write a list of everything that you want in a person. Actually, not just one, everything that you need in a person in order to form a partnership with somebody that's going to help you to be the best version of yourself and that's really going to fulfill you as well in the relationship. So this list, don't just put tall, dark and handsome, or like I want this hairstyle, or you know, needs to have a good car or whatever. These need to be things that could really affect your happiness in the relationship, you operating at the best version of yourself, and you being aligned with the you that you want to be and the truth of who you are and what you want out of life. So, for instance, do you have certain hobbies and interests that it would be really, really good if they had too, so that you can do those things together? Is that really important to you? Do you come from a particular culture that you really need them to understand, or to appreciate, or to be a part of as well? Do you have a faith that you want them to belong to as well, so that you can share that together? Do you want somebody who practices kindness to everybody, not just you? And like, what are the characteristics and things that you want in a person that you're just not going to shift on and that you're going to put on that list? So you just need to be really, really clear about what's on that list, so that when you do go on a date, you can measure that person up against it. So let's now put the shoe on the other foot. Let's say that you actually don't like this person. Maybe maybe you're physically attracted to them. Maybe there is a spark, but actually they don't match up to your list. They don't match up to the things that you need in a person, and that's okay. But notice that this is your opinion. This is based on what you need, and you're making that opinion of that person based on what you know that you need in order to be happy, right? So this is your subjective experience, and this is not truth. This doesn't mean that that person isn't good enough for somebody else. This doesn't mean that that person is just like a lost cause, or all the things that you tell yourself when you have felt rejected or been turned down by somebody. This just means that he or she is simply not for you. He's for somebody else. And that is great, because it means that, because imagine if we were a perfect match to everybody, we would never find the one that we're supposed to be with. So just remember, when you have been rejected, that imagine what it would be like if the shoe was on the other foot, and that actually I'm just not right for that person, and that's okay. And you're one step closer to being with who you really want to be with. Okay, but let's just say that you're a bit further down the line and you've been on multiple dates with this person. Maybe you've even started seeing each other, and you've met each other's family, friends and whatnot, but it's still quite early days. You're not in the relationship stage yet, or maybe you are, and they turn around and say to you, it's not working, I'm just not feeling it, or whatever, or they ghost you, or whatever people do these days, and so you're really hurting now because you've already caught feelings for this person. But this is okay, right? So just because they have got to know you a bit more and then said this isn't working, this doesn't make their opinion of you any more truth. This is still their opinion. You are still you. You still possess all those amazing qualities that are going to be right for somebody else. And just because this person's got to know you more and it feels more wounding because they know you more, it doesn't make any difference, right? So and also, if you put the shoe on the other foot, if you are seeing somebody and you realise as you get to know them more that the qualities that they have just don't actually match up to the list that you've made, or the things that are really important, and they're not willing to work on them, then it's quite okay for you to communicate that as well and to shut the relationship down. So the exciting thing about it not working out with somebody is that you're one step closer to finding the one that you are compatible with. And you know, if this has happened multiple times for you, each time has just strengthened your character and eliminated one person that you're not supposed to be with, which is great. So try not to take it as a, you know, soul destroying, self-esteem damaging experience, but rather as like a learning experience. And you know, that person's opinion of you is not truth. It's just their opinion. If you're not right for them, you're not right for them. They're not right for you. So, you know, they can go and find somebody else, just like you can go and find somebody else. But one thing that I will say as a side note is, if there's something that they turn around and say to you that, I don't know, like, you're too clingy, you're too jealous, like, I can't deal with this. If you take a step back and think, oh, actually, I really was, like, maybe I am actually quite jealous. If you agree with that, then just take it as a learning opportunity, you know, for some self-development and self-growth. It doesn't matter that you are like that. It matters that you can grow from it and become the best version of you, and be grateful that that person pointed it out to you, so that you can then be the best you for the person that you are meant to be with and that you are right for. This doesn't need to damage your self-esteem either. We all have weaknesses and we all have areas for improvement. So just take it as one of yours. That's if you agree with what they've said. Some people just say things because they're pure mean. But, you know, other people, it can be constructive criticism. So yes, I hope that maybe this video has helped you if you find yourself in a situation where you really like somebody and they don't like you back. Just remember, it's their opinion, it's their experience of you, and it isn't a reflection of who you are.